everybody. So today we're going to be going over this is supposed to be the third meeting, I think. I'm not 100%. The PDF that we got said it was the second, but I'm pretty sure it's the third. So yeah, the third AOC meeting happened. Happened like almost a month ago, but we just got the go-ahead to talk about it like yesterday or the day before yesterday. Kind of depends when this video goes up, but yeah. So links for this will be below. If you just want to read the notes and sort of like get a summary of what happened, then just read the notes. The video is going to be more talking about really what happened during the meeting, my thoughts on everything, and all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, TC Mitch, I hope I'm saying that right. He's the Xbox rep now. Steriltic was the previous Xbox rep, and he left for personal reasons. I like Sterile, he was a cool guy, good AOC member. He's still around, but yeah. So yeah, TC Mitch is here. I don't really know much about him other than he's a Paladins game streamer and seems like a cool guy, so yeah, we'll see. So I was up first because, or no, was I up first? I'm first on this list. I think I slept in a little bit, honestly. I think I was like 10 minutes late to this, so anyhow, I'm first on the list. I brought up matchmaking. The reason that I brought up matchmaking, again, links are below, is because, can I zoom in on this? Okay, this is good, we're getting. It was because there are a bunch of games like this bottom one. Oh, okay, this is easier. There are a bunch of games like this bottom one where you can see it's a 5-stack of gold and plat players getting placed in a Masters GM lobby. And I was like, okay, maybe one of the reasons that poor matchmaking is happening is because the matchmaker is way over prioritizing, parties, right? Maybe that's a reason. So they'll look into it, I guess. So yeah, and yeah, parties always kind of screw over matchmaking, but that was kind of, they'll look into it. And now we do actually have a patch notes, because remember, this was like almost a month ago. We got the season, or the season 5 mid-season patch, whatever the Ruby patch is, right? That came out. So we actually get to see a decent bit of how much of an impact AOC has been having. This is the first patch where personally I feel like AOC has actually like done anything. So like you can really like draw a line like one-to-one between stuff the AOC has suggested and stuff that actually happened, which I think is pretty cool. So I talked about provision because it was a garbage item. It ended up getting reworked in the patch, so that's pretty cool. The aggression thing is a joke. Please don't take that too seriously. I talked about Guardian. This is okay. I wanna talk about Guardian a bit more in depth because it got buffed by 1% per level, and Infernal wanted it to get buffed by 1% per level, and I think that's awful. So, and like I'm gonna talk about what the other AOC reps suggested because I think I want AOC to do better, you know? So I think doing feedback and talking about, you know, what I think is worth it, and also like if you guys just want to read the notes, then just go read the notes. So Guardian is currently garbage, right? Guardian is not worth it. It is not a good item. It is not a good item because it doesn't scale with record, right? You buy Guardian, the other team buys record, your shields don't actually last that much longer. It's not good, right? So if Guardian were to be good, then it would have to compete with Wrecker, right? Because otherwise you just buy Wrecker and Guardian is worthless, right? So it has to compete with Wrecker. If it competes with Wrecker, then it's good. I think if Guardian was good, then it would be unhealthy, right? So if it competes with Wrecker and it's good, then it's unhealthy. And there's a few reasons for this, right? So I think that if you can negate a red item, basically, like if you can negate Caught, like Rejuve is fundamentally decent for a reason, right? If you can do that, shields would be very, very good, right? If you can just negate Wrecker, like think of if you could not buy Wrecker against shields, or if you could only buy Wrecker 1 against shields, like that'd be so busted for the shields, right? I also think that shooting shields is very, very not great. Like, listen, there's better Paladins gameplay out there than just shooting shields for 20 minutes, right? I don't want Paladins to be shooting shields for 20 minutes. I think there are more fun things you could be doing. If Guardian was good, then you'd also enter a weird little state where you needed to buy both, right? Because if the other team bought Wrecker and you didn't buy Guardian, well then your shields just fall off late game like they do now. And then you have to buy, you kind of feel like you have to buy Guardian because then they kind of counter each other out. And if the other team buys Guardian and you don't buy Wrecker, then their shields just will never die, right? Because we're assuming that Guardian is good. So you end up in a situation where you have to buy both, right? Because if you don't buy your counterpart and the other does, that's really good for them. So they both become mandatory, and that limits variety, and that kind of sucks. The devs have definitely shown that they do not like limiting variety. So I think that Guardian is fundamentally bad for the game, because if it were to become good, it would be unhealthy, and it's currently not unhealthy, but it's only not unhealthy because it's absolute garbage, right? So I think it should either stay absolute garbage, which I mean is not great, or ideally, preferably, it gets reworked, right? So that's kind of like the direction that I was leaning in. And then we've also got like the whole Haven Veteran thing. And I was like, okay, well, hey, we can kill two birds with one stone. We can just rework Veteran and bring back Haven Blast Shields, right? Was what I suggested. Now, they didn't end up doing this, but I think this feedback was still taken because, I mean, it's not just because of me. A lot of people have been talking about Haven Veteran, but they ended up increasing the prices and the values of both Haven and Veteran, which I think is probably an overall nerf. We'll have to see. PTS comes out this weekend. So yeah. Scorching Ando. Scorching Ando was, like, okay, a lot of this meeting was just me going, okay, what was some stuff that I really liked in the past that got removed, like balance-wise? So Scorching Ando was really fun in the past. It kind of sucks now. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's get Scorching Ando buffs. And we did get Scorching Ando buffs. Basically this exact thing. To a lesser degree, right? Incinerate didn't get buffed this hard. It just got buffed a little bit. But Hot Pursuit got the internal cooldown removed. Which was cool. Solar Blessing, same thing, exactly what I suggested, but like to a lesser extent. So not exactly what I suggested then. So yeah, again, like Solar Blessing was fun. It's a cool talent, right? But it's just like absolutely garbage right now. Same with Mega Pot Pip, like the exact same thing. It's a cool talent. It used to be playable. It is currently not good. I think it'd be really cool if it was good. Grover got Deep Roots reworked finally. Let's go, good stuff. So I suggested like power shifting so that he doesn't die once you rework Deep Roots, which they kind of did. They messed with some stuff. I'm just happy they did rework Deep Roots. We'll see how he performs on PTS. I've got some thoughts. Like I don't think the healing change is necessarily good for him because it's less burst, which means more of your healing is going to be under Cauterize, which means it's actually less healing. So that's probably worse for him, but like, well, we'll see. Shaw, this is, I think, exactly what I brought up. Shaw was like annoying because he was annoying and he was good into a lot of good things. So it's a small nerf that hopefully won't, just make him less frustrating, I guess. We'll see. I wrote a whole paragraph about Corvus, and Corvus got a whole paragraph worth of changes. Basically, like, Corvus is a fundamentally cool character. I like Corvus's design. I just think that the character being a pocket is the most boring thing in the game, so I want the character to not be a pocket. And he did get some of his pocket cards nerfed and some of his more selfish cards buffed, which I think is really cool. This combat medic stuff, like you can potion jump now with combat medic, which I think is very, very cool. It was done to sort of like try to buff him, but like that's not, it was the healing at the time because it was like 600 healing, and like, well, you can't really, that was bad. That wasn't enough healing. So they tried to remove the knockback, and that, that wasn't it. And now you'd rather just have potion jump back because combat medic is actually like good and does more healing. So I suggested Corvus quality of life changes, which is just like, move your mark around faster, just because, like, I mean, I want to play the game, I don't want to look at animations. That didn't end up happening in this patch, but I hope it happens at some point. Grover can actually see his own healing range now and does not have Minion actually, which is awesome, good stuff, quality of life. Vatu, I brought up giving this character a reload cancel. I know that's a buff, and I know a lot of people have been complaining about Vatu, so that is probably something I'm going to bring up soon. That Vatu is doing super well, but like we'll see, because again this character's got like tiny buffs over the course of time, and he's like really good. So we will we'll see, but yeah. So Infernal, okay. Infernal, spoilers alert, wrote she wrote this document, right? This is her document. A lot of the stuff is copy pasted from like the meeting notes and stuff and the documents that Hires gave us. Infernal wrote this. So Infernal's essays are in this document. And I messaged Infernal after the meeting and was like, hey, I think you need to look into how to present things better. Because if we scroll down a bit here, this is one of the shorter ones. It gets longer. So Infernal brought up like some, not awful points. It's just the way she presented them. She would like open up this paragraph, like screen share this, and then start reading. Like, I'm gonna be real, man. This is not the way to present stuff. It put me to sleep, and I barely paid attention to half of it. So. Cool points, great stuff, but oh my god. So I'm not going to read all that. We're just going to talk about what actually got suggested, which was to basically have a gold sink. This is like a cool idea, I just don't think it's solvable. Like in theory, yes, this is cool. In practice, I don't think it's doable. Like just for comparison, right? My main account has 5 million gold. It used to have 12 million, but it currently has 5 million gold. My Smurf has 40,000. 40,000 and 5 million are so drastically different from each other that I don't think that this problem is solvable anymore. So it's a cool idea in theory, right? I just don't think that like adding a gold sink that is not profitable for the game is the play. Especially when you could be making content that is profitable and keep the servers on. So it's in theory, sure. In practice, I don't think so. So yeah, getting the community more involved would be cool though. Controller, I don't know about controller. I don't play controller. I own a controller, but it is from 2006 and it says Logitech on the front and doesn't work with Paladins. So I don't really know much about controller. I let other people handle the controller stuff. I know that a lot of people have been talking about console having old VGS, and that did get brought up, so hopefully that happens. But otherwise, yeah, I have zero thoughts on controller. Go talk to other AOC members about that if you have feedback about controller. For balance stuff, Illuminate, the price did get increased, not this much, but it did get increased. So I think the main point was like you can't start Illuminate 2 anymore, which I mean that's fair, that makes sense. So not the worst change. Again, the Guardian buff, because Guardian, I think that there is this idea that if there is a balance, let's imagine balance is like a line, right? And you have bad on one end and busted on the other, right? So you have like garbage on one end and absolutely busted on the other, right? Like F tier and S tier. So if you can balance something to be an F tier and you can balance something to be an S tier, then it follows that there must be something in the middle where you can balance it to be balanced, right? I don't think that's how it works. I think a lot of this game relies on benchmarks. The easiest way to exemplify this is probably Strix, because he does 1200 damage, right? That 2-taps most squishies, but if he got brought down to 1199, he would not 2-tap most squishies. That adds a whole other like second to his TTK, even though it's a nerf of -1 damage. But like you can't tweak it more than that, right? If it's 1200, it's going to be 2 seconds. If it's 1199, it's going to be 3 seconds, right? There's no change to that, barring headshots. So like that's a very obvious example, but like the point is that I don't think you can necessarily like just because phrasing, just because benchmarks exist, I think makes that argument kind of fall apart. So I don't think buffing Guardian slowly but surely, I don't think that's like the play, because again, I think the item is fundamentally unhealthy. I also think that when you tend to buff things slowly like this, people tend to, it's like the frog being boiled in water sort of thing. I don't know if that's a correct analogy or if that's a thing that happens, but like, you know, it's that sort of thing, right? Where it's like people don't realize that, oh wait, this thing is actually good until it's like really good, right? That just kind of tends to happen when stuff gets buffed slowly. So I don't think this is a good idea. It happened, you know, so but yeah, I don't think Guardian buff is a good idea. I dislike the item. Veteran, the cost got increased and the value got increased, so that's cool. I'm also in favor of reworking Veteran. So Provision got reworked, cool. For balance, I think Infernal stole this, the hot pursuit thing from me, because we're in a Discord, and I was talking about this, that I was going to bring it up, and I think she just outright copy pasted it from me, which like, sure dude, it's a good change, I'm in favor of it, but come on man. So, yeah, it's not that big of a deal though, it's whatever. I don't even know if that's what happened. I fundamentally hate Yag as a character, so like, kill Yag, lol. I think the character's unfun, and I would like to see reworks to some of her abilities. I also think that this is like 15% of her health, so getting rid of 35% DR for 15% health increase is a bit weird. Yeah, there's a lot of writing here. You can read it if you want, like the links are below, but like, oh my, like look at it, dude. Look at all this. I'm not reading all this. What the fuck? No. I think I did at some point, but it was like, again, like the meeting was like a month ago, and I don't remember. Betty buffs is cool. Did end up happening, which makes sense. Betty was kind of dookie. More writing from Infernal. Infernal does have a lot of writing in this, but it's probably worth mentioning that we all had about an equal amount of time that we talked to the devs, right? Just because Infernal was taking up more than half of the doc does not mean she's had more than half the time. Banner actually did get removed, that's cool. Megaton got reworked, which is like cool. Cassie's like a lot worse now, but Megaton was unfun and server and fucking yeah, so. Judge did get mid-area removed, which is like cool. Freebooter. I like Freebooter. I'm a big fan of Freebooter. I'm not a big fan of reworking talents that people use. And all of Dredge's talents kind of do get used, right? Like, Scuttle gets used, Hurl gets used, Abyss Spike gets used by weirdos. Like, these talents gets used, right? So, I don't think you get rid of any of them, you know? Add it as a fourth talent, sure, maybe in 2024 if we get there, but, you know, I don't think you rework a talent that people use. Drogue changes, oh god, we finally got there. Again, I rely on what other people say mostly for DPS changes if I do talk about them. So I don't have too many thoughts here. The one thing that I will say is this Fusillade rework. Because I've had this discussion before. There's like this argument that because Fusillade only gives you a flat damage amp, it does not change the way you play, right? You're going for direct shots with base weapon, you're going for direct shots with Fusillade, right? No matter what, it doesn't change your playstyle. I think this argument is stupid. I think it's stupid because I think it disregards the fact that you are incentivized to do what you are good at. Fusillade Drogue is good at doing different things that weren't in Combi. Fusy Drogue takes duels versus certain characters a lot better. It's like stuff that doesn't have like big HP pools, right? Or like it's weird. It's like it takes duels versus things that have really small HP pool as well, and things that have really big HP pool as well. It's like Rom, Yag, Fusy is good into that, right? Fusy is good, it's a better matchup, if that's the sort of thing that you want, then yeah, and then once you are in that game, you're not just going to play like a talentless Drogue, you're going to try and hunt down that Rom and that Yag because those are your good matchups. You are incentivized to do the things that you are good at. Similarly, if you're playing versus like an Eevee or like a Sky or something very, very squishy as few slide Drogue, you will try to hunt that down. You will try to force those matchups. You will try to play very aggressively into those matchups because you have a very good matchup there. That's a playstyle change, right? It changes what you are good at. So you are incentivized to do things you are good at. You are incentivized doing different things. That is a playstyle change. So I think reworking this talent that people also use, by the way, just disregarding that, people use this talent. I think it doesn't make any sense. And I also think that if you really stand by the flat damage amp doesn't change your playstyle argument, if you believe that, then please explain to me why damage Damba plays differently than heal Damba. Because damage Damba, right, Rakono's Wrath or whatever that is, it's a projectile speed change to his stun, right? Which, like, cool, gives him some more range. But if you are at a range where you could reasonably hit stuns, which is like medium to short range on Damba, it's a flat damage amp, right? But I don't think you can argue that stun Damba plays the same as heal Damba, right? So flat damage amps can change the way you play because they incentivize different things. The rest of it, cool. There was a DR card in here at some point, but then Infernal got bullied into taking it out. Because that'd be very, very good. Follow the scent. I don't think this is that big of a deal, man. Like, if you're messing your fire spits up when you have no ammo, like, that's on you. So, I also think this card is funny. It's not good. It's not a very good card. It's very funny, though. Massive fire spits are funny to me. I think it should be buffed, personally. So, you know, that's just me. This, I think, okay, this is like, the idea that your link should go to the person that you are looking at is for some reason the wildest take. This sort of got added to Restraint, and I am currently pushing for it to be added to a base kit, so I think your link should go to the person you're looking at instead of like auto-aim trying to pull it to other people. It's weird. Grover got a bunch of changes. Mid-turn accuracy is gone. Projectile size decrease I would not be opposed to. Same. This is happening. Deep Roots is getting reworked. So yeah, cool changes to Grover, whatever. Moji. Oh god, dude, I don't know about Moji. Do you want to mess with Moji? I feel like if you mess with Moji, like, people are gonna drop your IP address in your Twitch chat, you know? Like, the people who play Moji are weird. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. Sky got a bunch of change. This change honestly makes sense to me. I've heard of people talking about, like, switch how Sky Stealth and Strict Stealth work, but yeah. Preparation to get reworked. I don't know what a Debilitate nerf is doing in here. 7. Okay, how good is 7 in your guys' opinion? Because I don't play 7 and I have not played against enough 7s to like get a good handle on how good this character is. Cause like I see him do good things, but then it's like, okay, well, is he a good character, or is he just farming bad players? You know? Like, is it just a skill difference or a character difference? Like, I'm legitimately not sure how good this character is. So, I want to know what you guys think. I also want to know what you guys want me to bring up at next AOC meeting, because the next AOC meeting is in like 4 days. So, give suggestions in comments or on Twitter or in Discord or whatever. You know, give feedback. This makes sense to me. I don't know why this is here in the game. I feel like you never used the dash for DR. I don't know about nerfing his self-sustain though. That's kind of his thing. Alright, Jaimeras. AFK players. I mean, I think he's talked about like this sort of stuff. Again, it's a month ago, so I don't remember exactly. But it was like, if you different sort of penalties that aren't banned, like you can only you know, you get a ranked ban so you can only play casuals or something like that. Like I don't know how well that will work, but yeah, I think the devs kind of summed it up. Like matchmaking and all this stuff is like something that they say they are constantly working on it, and that's the very common answer. Deal of the day. I've said this before. I don't think AOC should mess with monetization. I think that monetization is a whole other beast that none of anyone who actually like just straight up plays the game has any experience with. Because the point of monetization isn't to like give you the most cosmetics or whatever. It's to keep the lights on, right? So it's like whatever keeps the lights on is what they're gonna do. Whatever, you know, keeps the lights on and pays them the most money, that's what they're gonna do. And like that is one, not necessarily what the players want, and two, I doubt that just by playing the game you're gonna get a great handle on this. So I don't think this feedback is very valuable, so I don't think AOC should spend much time on it. I think there's stuff that AOC should spend time on that's more impactful. Landing enemies, cool, sure. I don't think that's the most high priority thing. I don't know how you got a fourth topic in here. That is, maybe you just asked a question and they put it in it. So yeah, they know about infinite loading bug, they know about sound bug, they know, they are trying to fix it. They are working on it. They're doing the best they can. I don't know much more than that. TC Mitch, the new guy. So we talked about incentivization of other game modes. I only play ranked, so I don't really have any thoughts on this. So this is a console thing again, so no thoughts here. And Raise Envelop is just like the thing that got added to Restraint that I want in base kit, so I think this is a good take. So yeah, small things from the new guy, but good things. BigMac, again, that's controller stuff. I don't really know. This seems to be good things that I've heard before, though, so cool. Crossplay and ranked. Okay, this has got brought up before. Again, like, I think I've asked you guys what you think of it before, but I personally am completely neutral on it. If it improves queue times and matchmaking, then great. I don't have an issue playing against aim assist because, like, I've done it before. It's doable. I know how to do it. I can beat it. So like I don't have an issue with it. So I again, completely neutral whether it happened or not. I'm like super for it or against it. Commendations. More than 8. I don't use them honestly. I don't know. Nick brought up map rotation, and I agree. He talks about. I mean, I brought this up in the second meeting. One thing that the devs said is that if like more than one AOC member brings something up, it doesn't really mean that they're gonna like do it. Like they, you know, they evaluate things based on their merit, not on how often they get brought up. Is I think what they said. But I think it's a good take. You know, I thought it was enough of a good take to bring up myself. So hopefully it does happen though. So. They are constantly monitoring the map rotation. Crossplay ranked again, bringing back old talents. This is sort of I have the same thoughts on this as I do Freebooter. If there's like a cool old talent that got removed or a cool rework, then yeah, sure, do it. But I don't think it should necessarily like replace talents that people actually use. Like Mischief, right? Like people use Combat Medic, Megapod is getting buffed, and people use Catalyst, right? So I don't really think that there's space to bring back Mischief, right? Retaliation, sure, you can get rid of Smolder, but like I don't think you can bring back Mischief or Reign of Terror. Alive didn't show up. I honestly don't remember why, but it's not the end of the world. Kreepers, I think Kreepers was a little late submitting his topics, but I think he also ended up talking the most of us. Because I think he had like a bunch of questions at the end. I'd have to double check, but yeah, he ended up talking a lot, which isn't a bad thing. He talked about tutorials, which yes, this is a very common thing that people have asked about. Is like, well, we have these videos that literally are tutorials on the Paladins Game YouTube channel. Why aren't they in the game? So yeah, I think that's a good take. Not sure why, and they'll look into it, you know. He talked about rank rewards. I think that just my interpretation of what the devs have said, this isn't like the devs' word or anything, this is my interpretation of things. I think the devs would sooner add crossplay in ranked to try and make ranked a better experience than add rewards to get people to play something they don't necessarily want to play. That's my interpretation of it. I think more people playing ranked is good stuff. So as long as matchmaking is not putting them in my games if they're in gold, you know. So I want matchmaking to be good. So yeah, pretty solid meeting, I think. Pretty big meeting. A lot of stuff that actually did make it into the patch. A lot of my stuff made it in, which I'm really happy with. Hope it's good stuff. You guys have fun with it. And yeah, if you want to share things that you want me to bring up, then let me know in the comments, please, because the next meeting is very soon. And I'm looking around for stuff to talk about. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.